Matt from the UK. Hey, Giant Bombcast. Love the Bombcast. I ask a simple question. For something to be considered gross, must it first be wet?
Moist.
Is wetness a key factor in something being gross?
Moistness
helps.
certainly is, I think.
Definitely helps.
Well, clearly it can contribute, but is it a necessity?
This is a great question.
I'm trying to think of
I
something.
know.
I'm
That's
trying to
why
think
I
of something
included it.
gross that's really dry.
Like maggots, do you consider maggots
They're
already
wet.
moist?
They're wet.
wet.
I consider them gross.
Yeah.
They're definitely gross.
Taking a stand. Maggots are gross.
and they definitely.
But they're moist.
Well,
right?
Well, they're going to be attracted to somewhere where there's moisture.
And usually anything fresh kills are mostly moist, right?
Yeah, they're very.
But
So
how
because
do
the
you feel
skeleton's
about
not really gross.
dried up, like sort of nasty, shriveled up corpses, like that are just all the moisture is gone from the body? Is that still pretty gross?
That's not as gross though.
How about
But is it still
That's
gross?
nasty. That's
But
not
is
gross.
it
That's
gross?
nasty.
how about a dried up booger like on the toilet urinal?
Yeah, I guess that's pretty gross.
That's pretty gross.
But is it gross because the toilet urinal is usually kind of wet?
No, it's the hard booger.
All right.
What about like dried up vomit, like in your car?
That's gross.
That stinks.
I think that's gross.
But it was once moist.
But
What
it's
is
but,
once
I'm
moist
saying,
is
but
now
so is the
dry.
corpse. I'm just saying like
All
things
right.
can be gross.
I think you can be gross without being wet, but
You have to have been
You're-
wet at one time.
your grossness, yes, absolutely. There had to have been wetness at some
Arrow
point.
pointing down.
Can't start dry.
Yeah, you can't start dry. There had to have been wetness at some point.
Yeah.
And the wetter it is, the chances
Yeah.
of being gross increases astronomically.
I don't think that's
I
true.
agree.
I think you pass a viscosity threshold where like if you're just pure liquid, you're not as gross as you were when you were kind of sludgy.
That's
or-
true.
Yeah.
That's true.
there's
There's definitely diminishing returns. at a certain
Sludginess
point.
is definitely a big factor.
Squishy,
Yeah.
like, instead of just
can be
running
gross.
water.
It seems moistness is a great
Yeah.
Yeah,
metric for
you
gross.
because you could take something beautiful, and make it moist, and it's
I'm
not
actually
gross.
I said moist specifically because I want to see how many people on the comments for this comment on how much they hate the word moist, because I know a ton of people that hate that word.
just moist.
They don't like the word moist, and it bothers me not at all.
damp.
And I don't understand like what it is about that word
I think
that
of
people
cake.
freak
Wasn't
out
there?
about.
There was a like a cake, a brand of like cake in a
Yeah.
box. There was like
Moist.
They're trying to make it
Yeah, it sounds
moist.
delicious.
Yeah.
Duncan Hines.
But there are some people that are super
Yeah.
super grossed out by that word, and I don't really know why.
moist.
It's because they have bad brains.
I guess.
Their minds are broken. They can only think of filthy stuff.
Moist.
Think of delicious, moist food.
Moist.
How about a dried tongue? That's actually something that's actually way cooler wet, but then if it's dried out, it gets kind of gross. Dried out.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Wet tongue.
A dry tongue is kind of gnarly. It's not gross.
How about dried eyeballs? They get gross.
This goes back to the dried corpse thing.
Here's the thing, though, is that eyeballs are still gross.
eyeballs are
in
totally
general?
gross.
Just
no
on their
matter
own.
what.
Tongues
Eyeballs are
and
totally gross.
eyeballs are kind of gross.
Totally gross.
I'm trying to think of.
Let me lick your eyeball.
I don't know.
No, because that's fucking gross.
Well, no, because your tongue is kind of gross.
Yeah, well,
Last
your
person wanted to
eyeball's
do that,
gross.
slapped across the face.
Yeah,
Get out of here. This is not what I'm
sanitary.
paying for.
I'm trying to think of things that are not as gross moist, but when they dry out, actually become grosser.
Dead slug.
I'll let you keep.
Check
Well, I'll
my
tell you
book.
that I'd rather
Let
step
that
on a
keep you up at
on a
night
dry
for a while.
slug than
Yeah.
a wet one.
Oh,
I
Yeah,
took
Another great
2
T-shirt.
dry
Arrow
slugs.
pointing down.
Took 2 dry slugs to
Rather
the chest.
slip on a dry slug than a wet one.
Material writes itself. All right, we have to stop. I'll let you continue
Yeah.
pondering the
Brad Garrett.
the grossest.
Yeah.
Give me a moist Brad Garrett. Ugh.